Domenico in the Room podcast with a very, very special guest on Fight Week. I have Bobo, the Beast O'Bannon. Now, the main event for BKFC 15 this Friday night in Biloxi, Mississippi, December 11th. Bobo, first of all, congratulations on main event, brother. How you feeling about it?
Thank you, sir. Look, back on BKFC5 night, Artem Lobov and Jason Knight beat the fire out of one another. I was an undercard fight, not even televised. Didn't make it TV because I was just a fat guy fighting what they said looked to be just an old guy. And David Feldman told me after the show that he wished he would have put me on there because he didn't realize we were going to beat the death out of one another, And hey, that's just how the both of us fight. Then, you get to the Toe the Line 2 card, and I was supposed to fight an in-town guy that was selling tickets to the show. Well, that fight fell through. They chose not to fight me. So then he called me back the next day, like, hey, what about this guy? Yeah. Well, that fight fell through. That guy chose not to fight me. Then, all of a sudden, he was like, hey, we got this guy named Mike Kyle that needs somebody to fight, put him on the main event. So in my mind, all right, this is Mike Kyle. I'm out of the picture. They won't let me have that fight. Lo and behold, he was during that conversation, would you fight Mike Kyle? Yeah. Yes. That's like a freaking YouTube hero, I've been growing up, ever since I was in the fight game, seeing videos of him on YouTube and all, heck yeah, that'd be awesome. So then, the fight happens, but, there was an issue with the main event that was first published going on with that one. Well, then, so they're like, also, you're going to be the main event, too. You know how it was my first fight, not even on TV. Now I'm the main event. Well, then, we fast forward to this card here. He's like, hey, man, look, how you feel about Lewis? Yeah, cool. Right here at home. Nate Shook actually messaged me first. Asked me how many tickets I felt like I could sell right here. I'm like, up to me, Daddy. We got this. Well, so then one thing led to another, and I started hearing some rumors, about and everything. But then Mr. Kevin called me and was like, hey, look, there might be something going on. I can't discuss much with you right now. I just need to know if it comes down to a point to where you could fight Shewmaker or possibly Burns or possibly Sorrow. Would you fight any three of them guys? Like, yeah, all three of them. Line them up. We'll do it. I'll fight. I'll fight him. Yeah, sure, whatever. And so he's like, okay. He said, there's some stuff going on. I can't talk to you about it very much. Just know there's some possibilities. I just got to know that you'll be on board if anything happens. Yes, sir. Well, then a couple of days later, he calls me back. He's like, all right, so this is what's going on. And, I done had that show with Mr. Christopher James, and he done put me on the spot, asked me who I was fighting. And I told him, I don't know, because guess what? I didn't know. Yeah. There was, I got a terrible poker face. My wife knows that. If I do something, so anyhow, I didn't know, and I told him. My post that I have on Facebook says I'm fighting Louis Rumsey, and that's about all I had to give him. That's all I had concrete to go off of. Well, the day or two, the next day, whatever, 2 days after they ever win, I'm on the phone, and I start seeing a whole bunch of notifications going off on the phone. Dinging, notification. I'm like, man, what the world's going on? Something's here happening. So I was like, hey, look, I don't even remember if I told you now. I was like, hey, look, let me get a phone. My Facebook is blowing up. Let me see what's going on here. And next thing you know, BKFC has posted on their page that, the main event has changed to Bobo versus Sam Shewmaker. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty good.
Excellent. And it's another coincidence here. It's on BKFC5, you were on the same card as Sam, and that was his last fight, I do believe, for BKFC until now. So to bring us back to that BKFC5 card, did you know about Sam? I know he's he's on the boxing scene too, but did you watch his fight, and what'd you think about him back then? And what do you think about him now as far as an opponent?
Oh yeah, man. All right. So Elvin, no. I'm sorry. That's a lie. I apologize. Brock Weaver is a hometown guy, and I seen Brock Weaver fighting Joe Riggs on the card on one of these cards. Whenever they fought, and so I called Brock. Brock was a kid whenever I was in the gym big time. He's one of the ones I took time with. And showed a few things to here and there. But I was like, Brock, man, what's going on? This bare knuckle thing. Well, what is that? He explained it to me. I was like, yeah, man, look, I said, yeah, I seen Mr. Roy. I seen you, wrapping your hands. What's going on? He said, yeah. Look, he said, this is who you need to get in touch with if you want to do it. He said, Bobo, I'm telling you, fighting style. He said, you will wreck people in this, man. He said, own the bare knuckle organization. He's like, as exciting as you are and everything. He said, dude, first of all, they're gonna love you. People are gonna love you, your personality and everything. People are gonna love you. The organization is gonna love you for your fighting style. He said, you're going to love it because it's just awesome, dude. It really is. So I called Mr. Roy, and we got to talking, and he's like, yeah, man, I'll train you. Come on over here. And at the time, I was working an hour and a half from home, so it was it added 30 minutes to my trip to swing by Pensacola and spar with Mr. Roy, training his gym and all. So I was training with him, but then Mr. Roy fell on some health issues, and he had to take some time off, and so I could come back to Mobile and get with my original trainer. And I was like, look, this was going on. I was trying to get with Mr. Roy. Something happened, whatever. So I got a fight coming up. I need you. He's like, all right. Just, it's me and you now. Yes, sir. I get it. I'm on top of that. So then we training got in shape. But I found out about it through watching, Brock, hometown boy, old buddy of mine, fighting on there and everything. And he gave me the people to get in touch with, and kind of, man, it all kind of catapulted real quickly towards that first fight after that.
So now you're fighting Sam in the main event. And when I interviewed you earlier, when you had, your previous opponent, you were going against basically an MMA guy doing the crossover. So you talked about basically you being a brawling boxer and going against an MMA guy. Now you have another boxer in there and a dude that's got more experience as far as more BKFC fights and events under his belt. What's this do as far as the matchup, and what's this do on your end? How do you approach this fight? I would imagine you have to approach it a little different than you would have against your previous opponent.
Yeah, look, I got off on a answer your first question all the way. I'll finish it real quick. You're asking, did I know about Sam Shewmaker? Yeah, I did. Once all this happened with Brock and getting in touch with him and getting in touch with Nate Shook and everybody needed to talk to and everything, then I started doing my research on the BKFC. This new company, I wanted to see if they was legit. First thing I wanted to know before, I start getting out there, cut up and beat up for money, Well, and that was because I'd seen another bare knuckle organization had been messing some people over at the time. And so the BKFC was not the organization that was messing people over. Everything I seen on them was concrete, solid, and legit. So I proceeded with it. Then I went to look it up about them and, research and stuff or whatever. And the very first thing I saw, the person I saw was Sam Shewmaker. He was the, I guess, kind of the poster boy in the beginning, to promote the company and getting everything going and all. And tough, man, super tough. Doggone, put Eric Prindle near about clean smoke to sleep, I mean, he, and that ain't no slouch that he was fighting there, and sitting there watching some of the other fights and everything, I was like, this is cool. This is legit here, I would love to be there one day. I would love to be in that one day. And then we come to this fight, and originally I was going to be in there with Rumsey, and then now they got me with Shewmaker, the same guy who I was kind of my little boy starstruck with, on success and, what he was doing and how he was like one of the groundbreaking guys on making this big, and I was, kind of overgone. Then I got to watching him whenever I was watching him fight, and I was like, man, that'd be a good fight. Fighting him would be, he'd be a good, big old country boy,
Yeah.
seems looks like he's got a hard work ethic, and he likes to bang. It looks like that would be, man, that would be an entertaining fight. They'd make a bunch of money being him to fight one day.
As far as Sam's been to a lot of decisions. You've had two KOs your first two fights. Are you getting ready for a 5-round war here? Are you gonna try to go in there and make a statement and take out someone that's been in there 5 times already?
Look, man, every single fight that I go into with the mindset of I ever loving net beat out of me for 5 full rounds or for 6 or 10 or whatever. In BKFC, 5 full rounds. I'm fixing to get the fire beat out of me for 5 full rounds. I go in there with that expectancy, and I also go in there knowing in my heart that I'm fixing to get in there with somebody who is capable of beating the fire out of me for 5 rounds, and for 5 full rounds, I'm going to be in a fight, an absolute all-out dog fight for 5 full rounds. So you will see that I train for and prepare for 5 full rounds of just a brutal dog fight. And I say dog fight because like a dog, you back a dog into a corner and you go to kicking on a dog, giving the smallest little coward down dog. You go to kicking him in a corner, that dog's fixing to come out. You fix to see every ounce of what that dog's made out of. Well, that's the same thing here, whether it be me or my opponent that gets back down in that corner and gets beat on, we're fixing to see what they're made of. We're fixing to see what's at the core of them. If it's to come out fighting or they're going to lay down one way or the other. But I don't see Shewmaker being one to lay down. I know I'm not one to lay down. I see it being a fight. It's either going to go 5 full rounds of just beating each other, beating on one another, or one of us is going to be hurt bad enough to where we absolutely cannot continue. But I don't see either one of us wanting to quit. I don't see either one of us wanting to not continue. Like I said, country, rough and tough country boys. I would imagine just a little bit of conversation I've had with him in the past, and just seeing his interviews and all, he seems like he's probably about like me. You fall down whenever you're little, mama hug you to the side like this a little bit, and pick it up, rub some dirt on it, boy. You all right? You get out there and play. And that's kind of the way it was, man. That's kind of the way it is for country folks. And not saying that it's just strictly two country folks that way, but it's pretty well unanimous for us.
Excellent, man. Well, the country folk are going to be all over that place come on the 11th, man. I know you got a ton of people going, and, the eyes are even more on you because, BKFC is blowing this up right now in Fight Week. And, Monday is kind of all them posters are out now. You're on the poster as the main event. Who you got coming? And last thing, shout outs and thank yous. And I'll let you go and enjoy the last couple of days before weigh-ins.
Yes, sir. I got my stepdaddy coming. I got my father-in-law. He's got a bunch of guys from his work, and my mother-in-law that's coming with him. My wife, she's not able to make it. My wife came to my first fight, and there was a paramedic that found out about a heart condition and that her husband was fighting and everything. And a paramedic upgraded their seats so that the paramedic could be closer to my wife during the fight. And my wife about went out a couple of times during the fight, due to her heart disease and everything. And so my wife's come. She won't. She probably, unless the good Lord intervenes, which I believe He will one day. Today ain't that day. But until the good Lord intervenes, my wife won't be at the fight. She'll be at home struggling. But we have a support group that's going to be there with her. We've got people that's devoted to us, love us to death. And, they have decided to not come to the fight. They're doing a pay-per-view event. They're at the house. I have 3 or 4 people there with them to where, my wife can watch the fight. We've got a really, really good friend of mine and my wife's Eric. We call him Easy. Easy's going to be there talking to my wife on the phone so that, she's calm and she's okay and knows that I'm okay. No matter how bad I may be hurt, she'll know that I'm okay, And, but I've got some folks from work that are trying to come. I don't know how many people telling me that they have downloaded the app and they've got everything ready. They got the beer on ice, the wings ordered, and everything's ready to go. I've got tons of support, and I really didn't find out until here about the last week or so to kind of open my eyes on some of the people that I have supporting me. And I mean, it's really fella Reynolds. I can't remember his first name now. Chad Reynolds. He out of Tennessee, out of Paris, Tennessee. I don't know nobody in Paris, Tennessee. This fella has found me, and we've been messaging back and forth. We've actually called, and I was just talking to him on the phone a while ago. He's like, "Man, I've been telling everybody about your fight. I've been telling everybody, just a legitimate fan wanting to bring other people to it so that they can also see something exciting. I mean, that's legit stuff, man. That's the good stuff. So I got a big following, I guess, and starting to build it even more. And people like that excitement. People like that extra little something, we'll call it. And I plan on giving that to them every single time. That's the only thing I know. Big old dome country boy. I don't know no different. I know one thing. My trainer's been working with me on a different style of fighting, and you might see it for a couple of rounds this time. For the first 2 rounds this time, he told me if I didn't get it done for the first 2 rounds, it's gonna be my tail. So anyhow, but man, we're gonna see what's going on, and got family and friends coming and supporting me, and then give a shout out, Matt Zifferblatt with a Healthy One Inc. He'd been sending me supplements and workout routines, and making sure that I'm ready to go for this thing. Mr. Kevin Smith with Smith Brothers Fighter Combat, a fighter management. I mean, he's Mr. Kevin's making it happen for me. He's throwing my name in the hat. He's doing exactly what I asked him to do. And I said, look, I don't matter how tough, how small, whatever. If there's no tough stuff, then throw me in on just anything. But I prefer the tough stuff. Make it happen for me. He's throwing my name out there. I'm proud and happy to have him as a manager. He'll do what you ask him to do. And man, God, God comes first. If it wasn't for God speaking to me and to my wife, I wouldn't be doing this. My wife told me when we got married she was not going to be married to a fighter. And then here we are in church today, and she leans down, makes me lean down to her so she can tell me, hey, God's telling me that you need to be fighting, and I don't like it, but that's what he's telling me. So, I want to thank God for this. It directly comes from God. I can't do all this stuff. Good Lord's blessing me with it.
Excellent. Well, you deserve everything you're getting. Congratulations on this big news on the main event for BKFC 15. Bobo, you've become a fan favorite in just over a year and a half, and it's all to do with how you carry yourself and what you do there in the BKFC ring for them. Dude, all the power to you, man, and congratulations, and we can't wait to see you this Friday night at BKFC 15.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed one now.